Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. But first, stay on this one. I think this is going to be a pretty important video. You know what I mean? Part of my video idea coming up with process, I don't know how the hell you could even phrase that. But recently I've been like, you know what? Let's go back to the basics. Let's see if there's anything I've missed, any little things that, could be of use to you guys. And I think I found a good one. You guys read the title, you saw the thumbnail. That's right. 3 reasons why you need an actual concealed carry belt. So a lot of people might be wondering, what is an example of an actual concealed carry belt? I'm going to show you. So here I have my Safariland belt on. And I've actually been wearing this thing for about a week now, every single day, at work, not at work, at home, chilling. And, I have a couple of pros here that give me, enough reason for me to tell you guys why you do need this. So before I continue, no, not sponsored by any company, definitely not by Safariland of all companies, but I can say there are a ton of other companies as well that provide great belts for you to carry your guns with. But we're going to start with reason number one. Reason number one is the comfortability of while you're carrying. So there are several reasons why, despite the fact that the belt is much more rigid than most belts that you would find, that it actually is much more comfortable to have on. So for starters, the buckle itself on these belts, unless you decide to opt for one that's, larger, the buckles tend to be a good bit smaller. So you don't have to worry about the buckle digging into your gut there. But you have that. That's a big deal right there, especially if you appendix carry itself. It's already extremely uncomfortable when you're sitting down, bending over, things like that. Now, let's move on just from the aspect of appendix carry. This is where I take great appreciation of it. If you're carrying it either 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock, you might notice that sometimes you're pinching a nerve. It's just that it's not going to feel that great. It just isn't the most comfortable out there. Concealed carrying itself isn't the most comfortable thing to do in the world. And that's more than fine, because guess what? Being able to protect yourself isn't meant to be comfortable. It's meant to be comforting. But you also want to try to maintain a certain level of comfortability. You don't want to be completely uncomfortable the entire time. That's what having an actual concealed carry belt provides you. Now, here's the reason why most people don't realize this, right? Despite it being stiff, right? As you guys can see here, I'll stand up one more time. Despite it being stiff, as I've shown you guys before in other videos, it is just stuck bent like that. Despite it being stiff, because of the fact that it is so just durable, it has been able to keep my gun pressed where I want it to be pressed on my hip. It has been able to keep everything exactly where I place it, which allows me to remain comfortable, because sometimes you just become uncomfortable when things change positioning. And that's a big deal. So the fact that this belt itself can help in a way provide you a sense of comfortability is a huge deal. Something that an actual concealed carry belt can do compared to your average day-to-day leather belt or Walmart belt or whatever. Now, moving on to number 2. Excuse me. Number 2 is the reliability. And yes, I had to write these down because I didn't want to forget. But number 2 is the reliability of your drawing and your reholstering. So what people don't realize, and this kind of touches on the subject of number 1 in a sense, especially with how I ended it off, is that if you have a basic leather belt or a basic Walmart belt, you'll find sometimes that throughout your day-to-day life, you're not just necessarily your gun, but the belt, the pants as well, change positions a bit. And that's a big problem, because if you guys aren't practicing drawing and reholstering your gun, 1, you're already doing yourself a disservice. Let's get that out the way. But 2, if you do practice, you probably are practicing under a very controlled environment where you already have staged your clothes in a sense to where you think is the most optimal for you to draw and reholster from. And unfortunately, if your belt is just not that durable, you're not going to have that. If you don't have an actual concealed carry belt, you're worrying about the belt essentially just moving around and causing your muscle memory to not be able to work how you want it to. And that's kind of a big deal. I'm sorry, but if I want to reach for my gun to draw it, I want it to be exactly where I placed it when I put it on this morning. I want it to just be a muscle memory of where to grab. And unfortunately, with your standard average Joe Schmo belt, it's just not going to happen. A real concealed carry belt, though, because of the fact that it is so durable, because of the fact that it is so rigid, because of the fact that it is genuinely made to withhold the weight of concealed carrying, whether it be full-size guns or compact guns or micro compacts, whatever, you get that reliability when it comes to drawing and reholstering your gun. That's a big, big, big deal. Now, another con about, your regular Joe Schmo belt, if you are worried about drawing and reholstering, is one, you might mess up when reholstering, but more importantly, you might mess up when drawing your gun. Let's say you sit here and you go to draw your gun, but because it's not at the exact position you put it in before, it's now you don't have a full grip on there. You still go to draw it. What if that gun slips out of your hand as you draw? What if? There's so many what ifs here that can simply be avoided by getting a good quality concealed carry belt. And that's the thing, is that, guys, these belts are not crazy expensive. You can find them all for less than $100. Granted, guys, let's talk about this for a second. Yes, even if it's $95, that is a lot of money for a belt. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not a lot of money for a belt. I'm a very realistic person here, guys. I'm not exactly rich myself, so let's not act like it's not. But, let's talk about a couple of things, which actually one of these is going to be number 3. But let's talk about, what is your life worth, whether or not you should have the best tools. Is it worth it to you to have the best tools to protect yourself, whether it means the best accessories? Is it worth it to you? For me, it's worth it. But moving on for the next point, which is point number 3. And honestly, this is kind of just my favorite itself, and I'll get into why. The durability of the belt itself. These belts are made to be used. They are. You can conceal carry full-size guns. It doesn't even have to be just concealed carry. You can carry really whatever size guns you want with these belts. They're made to be used. They're made for concealed carrying. That is the entire purpose of these belts, which is a great thing for me. The reason why that is because if you guys have watched my recent videos where I actually talked about some of the belts that I used to use when I was concealed carrying before, you'll know that because, I'm low-key, it was a really stupid move, but it's not a big deal now. Looking back, I'm not super angry about it, but whatever. I was using a Gucci belt for concealed carrying. And after a while, like 6 months, something like that, of just straight up concealed carrying with a Gucci belt, the belt wore down and broke. And part of the reason why the belt broke also has to do with my dog, because my dog got to it, which she learned to never do that again. But that's besides the point. Yeah, that kind of had something to do with it, but it was so worn down that my dog thought it was okay to chew at it when she never thought that before, when having that belt for a good while before I started concealed carrying. So in the end, it's not necessarily the fact that you need to have the most durable belt out there, that this belt, has to be able to withstand the apocalypse, nothing like that. But you at least need a belt that is made for you to carry with. I'm sorry, but these belts are going to last a lot longer, and they're actually made to be carried with. Whereas you can get the highest price belt you can find out there in the world, and if it's not actually made for concealed carrying, it's going to break. It's going to not be able to hold up to the challenge, which is why I recommend getting a concealed carry belt. The durability of the belt itself will save you the money. Because guess what? These are probably going to last you about 5 or 6 of your regular Joe Schmo Walmart belts. Now, I'm not going to disclose what I paid for it. Actually, you know what? I will. There's no reason not to at this point. I paid $40 for it. Now, of course, I got a discount, but that's besides the point. I paid $40 for it. I can find a belt at Walmart for $15. This is going to outlast 5 or 6 of them. Let's say on the low end 5, 15 times 5, that's 75 right there. So, in the end, I pretty much have saved almost, the exact cost of what this belt is. You see what I mean? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I think these are three pretty good reasons as to why you need an actual concealed carry belt. Not just some Walmart belt, not just some, Amazon special Joe Schmo leather belt, an actual concealed carry belt. But with that being said, I think that about wraps it up for this video. Y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all. And whether or not you agree with me about these three reasons, go ahead and comment down below why or why not. I'm actually really curious about this one because I feel some people are going to be like, yeah, you really do need a concealed carry belt. Some people are going to be like, nah, not at all. You really don't need one. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Comment down below why or why not you agree with me. And then make sure to check out all my other videos. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.